each bird has its own unique song. And a bird has a different type of song for different occasions, to call its mate, or to announce the coming of the spring season, to tell that there is danger around, or the to make the enemy run away from the place where the children are kept, or to talk to their children, a sort of cooing type of uh, music. And also even for the female bird, for when it is sitting over its eggs, for the eggs to become children, even that voice, that music, the sounds they produce is different from what sounds they produce in the ordinary time. Similarly, even human beings have got music for different occasions, for different seasons, for different rites, and even for different hours, different stars, and for different nadis. There are 72,000 nadis are counted in the Ayurveda, in our human body. For each of these, there are a variety of music, and for each of our karma, for each of our yajna, all this endless number of music we use, even whether it is a harvest, or whether it is some manual labor, or during educational pursuits, everywhere there is a different type of music, different type of song. So when, even for war, the war song, the festival songs, all are different. There are different types of music in India, just like a bird's difference for different types. Now, when one music is being made or created, a human being is actually raising above his biological perfection to a creative perfection. And by raising his biological perfection into a creative perfection, he enjoys his life. He enjoys whatever he is doing. And at that time, the job, whether it is a menial job or educational pursuit or something like that, whether it is low or high, doesn't make any difference. Because man is always happy when there is a creative element involved in it. So profession becomes an enjoyment, even if it is manual labor, when you combine it with that type of enjoyable music. And this type of music is there in India from the very bottom to the highest level. And this is not something which is construed or something. You can go to any village, any urban place, and you will find all these types of music existing even now. So this is for the enjoyment of the profession, so that the human being reaches the perfection and they enjoy what they are doing, and thereby they make their job, whatever they are doing, the best in the world. That is the idea behind that. It is not just for enjoyment alone. There is enjoyment. Along with that, there is a purpose also in that. This is a positive outlook towards life through music that India had given to all the people. And each mantra or each music is a way of communication of the human being to others and to oneself, just as the birds do, or just as the nature do. So we are bringing out that natural quality within us, with all our enjoyment, with all the purpose of a beautiful living, with all the positive energy in us, to bring a change in ourselves, our mental makeup, our intellectual makeup, our spiritual makeup, and thereby giving that to the others around, to the world, to the nature around. In this way, it is a type of Gestalt type of style, Gestalt psychology they are employing actually. This is what Samasangita is all about, and it is from this Samasangita, our classical music or whatever tradition that we have has come up. So So this is actually part of your healthy living with nature. That is why it is part of Ayurveda. Then is the you in the modern times we are very conscious or very aware of the survival of the fittest. Is the survival of the fittest just a differential reproductive success? Making more and more children alone is not the survival of the fittest, but making the biodiversity, the diverse biodiversity of this planet Earth alive and protect that biodiversity so that everybody, every race of living thing has got its representation throughout. That is the real survival of the fittest. And for that, the human being has to think what I should do to protect that biodiversity all around, to protect this nature, of which I am also a part. So, it is also an ecological duty as well as an enjoyment of human beings to protect everything. And Sama Sangita is for that also. Healthy living of me as well as the world all around me, all the biodiversity around me, all should be preserved. That preservation, that is co-protection, is the actual message of Sama Sangita or Samaveda. So naturally, it comes to be to protect everything means it's merely Srishti is not there. Srishti has to be with Sthiti. Sthiti is the protection, preservation. So Sthiti is the real word, the protection, the eco-protection as the dharma is the real word that you have to use in Samaveda. That is why Krishna said, I am Samaveda. I am Sthiti. Sthiti is the professional duty of the Vishnu, Vaishnava. So that is why he said, I am Samaveda, because it is protective. It is creative as well as protective. Samaveda is like that. So it has to be, to protect everything, it has to be a message of kindness, compassion, of non-violence, love. Without that, you cannot protect everybody, everything. You will start destroying everything, no? If you don't have compassion, if you don't have love towards your neighbors, towards all the other living creatures, you will destroy them. So the message of love, compassion, non-violence, everything comes only with protection, eco-protection. So this is Sama Sangita is the message of oneness of all creation and therefore the protection, the compassion to all. And that is one thing that all the music therapists should understand from the very beginning. And in India, you find many of the samas are named after birds. The Krauja, the Shena, the Suparna, the Taitiri, the Hamsa, and even the Kaushiga. Kaushiga is owl. Even that has a sama. Now, the Krauja, especially the Tritiya Krauja, Vanidhana Krauja, etc., Krauja names comes repeatedly. Then the sama called Plava is learned from a water bird. And Phasa is learned from a carnivorous bird. And Vasa is type of sama learned from a twittering birds. So all these exist, showing that we learned it from nature, from the biodiverse nature around us, and we protect it just as ourselves. And in Satyakama, the story of Satyakama Jabala, he was actually advised a part of Brahma, a pada of Brahma by a Hamsa, and another part by a stork, two water birds. So it's a type of plava. Water bird is a plava. And another word about the Sadhyaskara Yaga. This is in Samaveda, there is something called Sadhyaskara Yaga. the Samaveda, Samas Gayakas have got the entire year, all the seasons, they have to protect their dharma and they have to do all the karma every day actually. Now, sometimes for the demonstrating this as an educational method to others who don't do this regularly, it is done in a short period. The entire rites of 1 year is reduced to just 1 day. That is 365 days is reduced to 24 hours. Now, this is called a Sadhiskara sacrifice or Sadhiskara yaga. When this is employed in music, the South Indian music, which uses 72 Melagartha for 72,000 nadis of the 360-degree cosmic cycle as well as our entire body, becomes the North Indian music, which is restricted to 24 hours. Because the 24 hours is included in that 360 itself. So it is actually, the North Indian music is a type of Sadhiskara yaga or Sadhiskara music of the entire South Indian music. What I am coming to is, it is not different. It is actually part of the whole. Now, in 24 hours, you are actually trying to sing all the 10 thoughts from which all the others can be constructed. But actually, it is not the whole. It is only a part of it, but it contains as I said earlier, a part contains the whole. Though the part is not the whole, the part contains the whole in it in a small way, as an atom contains all the structure of the cosmos. Now, in this Shena and Sadamsha, then Ishu, all these are Sadhiskara yagas, and in which we find Dakshina being given to the Ritvik. In the Dakshina of these Sadhiskara yagas, they give 36 cattle, and of these 36, 9 has to be one night. 9 has to be lame, that is, can't walk properly. Then 9 has to be cattle with paralysis, paralyzed cattle, and 9 has to be with deformed horns. So 9 into 4, there are 36 cattle given as Dakshina. Now, why this deformed and deceased cattle are given as Dakshina? That is for, if you go into the Shena, Samdamsha, etc., you find there is a Vaidya, a Bhishak in the Yagashala, who does bloodletting of these cattle, bloodletting by a Jaluka. Jaluka is a special type of leech which is grown without the poisonous thing, so that you can use it as a needle to remove the deceased or the humor which is polluted. And by doing this, how many of these are cured, how many are not cured, is a type of experiment done by these people. I think this must have been a very, very old practice. It's not that it is useful now. It is not useful. It is actually a practice which is an old custom only. But the thing is that it is an anthropological and historical practice which tells us that how the Jaluka or the leech of Dhanvantari, the Ayurveda physician, was considered important in producing health for even such deformed, diseased cattle. It was an animal experiment probably. So here also they use 36 cattle. Why 36? 36 into 2 is 72. 36 is a number which the Vedic people always use. And the double of it is the 72,000 nadis, 36,360 degrees, a complete vrittam, a cyclical process. So this type of things, this type of knowledge is still preserved in the Vedic text. That is why the Vedic texts are important as an anthropological study, as a historical study of the entire human race. It is not that these things has to be practiced again in the modern world. No, that is not needed. But these are the records which our the oldest ancestors of the entire human race have left behind to understand us the ways of the ancient people. That is why Sama Sangita as well as Samaveda and the Ayurveda derived from the Samaveda and the Veda, the Vedic Ayurveda. The Ayurveda is an Upaveda of the Veda. Ayurveda, Gandharvaveda, everything is important in that way. So, educationally, the Vedic studies are very important.